This is Women Road Warriors with Shelley Johnson and Kathy Tuccaro. From the corporate office to the cab of a truck, they're here to inspire and empower women in all professions. So gear down, sit back, and enjoy.
Welcome to Women Road Warriors. We're an award-winning show that works to inspire and empower women in every profession. Our goal is to power women on their road to success. We tackle all kinds of topics, and we work to encourage women to be their very best with informative guests and women who've been champions. I'm Shelley.
And I'm Kathy.
No topic is taboo on our show. We tackle the tough topics along with the not-so-tough topics, and we like to feature experts and celebrities who can assist women in being the very best they can be. Ever wanted to eat like a celebrity or your favorite TV character? How about eating the food inspired by your favorite movies or TV? Sammi Turano has the perfect recipe book for you based on her experiences with celebrity shows. TV Grapevine is an entertainment news site run by Sammi Turano. It features news on celebrities, entertainment, life, and everything in between. Sammy's interviewed people like Jerry Springer, Geraldo Rivera, and the stars of Real Housewives. To celebrate Sammy's 15th anniversary doing this, she decided to combine her love of journalism and cooking to make Taste of TV, 30 sassy recipes based on TV shows and movies recapped and loved by TV Grapevine. It's got recipes for everything from TV shows like Young Sheldon, The Big Bang Theory, The Golden Girls, Big Brother, The Bachelor, you name it. There's even a recipe inspired by Breaking Bad. And it's not what you think. Sammy's cookbook and memoir is not only tasty, but entertaining, and we wanted to know more, so we asked her on the show. Welcome, Sammi. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful to be here.
Yeah, welcome.
Oh, this is going to be so much fun. Before we delve into your cookbook, how about you give us a little background of who you are and what your site TV Grapevine's all about?
Sure. So I began with TV Grapevine in 2008. It was a couple years out of college looking for a journalism job. I couldn't really find anything. I worked on Wall Street for a while. Then I moved to Pennsylvania. I was working a bunch of temp jobs. I was doing an internship for, I wrote about in a book, a site called Ballroom Dance Channel, which is run by Tony from Dancing with the Stars. That's where I met my close friend and mentor, Sharon. And she was writing for TV Grapevine at the time and told me if we ever need writers, I'll let you know. And I'm thinking there, like, yeah, I'm never going to hear from this woman about this again. And went along my merry way. And then about 6 months later, she texted me saying, if you're still interested, my boss Al needs help in half an hour recapping So You Think You Can Dance. I'm like, okay. I poured myself I poured myself a glass of wine. I put on the TV show, which I only watched in passing a couple times, wrote a recap, to the best of my ability, sent it in. And Al, who later became my business partner and then passed the site on to me, loved it. And then he was giving more assignments, more TV shows to recap, interviews to do. And then he made me partner. And then when he decided to retire in 2018, passed the site down to me.
That's pretty exciting. I bet you didn't realize that your world was going to pivot so quickly.
Absolutely not. I didn't even really want to go into entertainment journalism. I was thinking more legal analyst, political analyst, that kind of thing, like the CNN kind of news. And then all of a sudden it just fell into my lap and I haven't looked back and I couldn't imagine doing anything else.
Well, it sounds like a ton of fun. And if you were inspired enough to write a cookbook, that's pretty cool. What inspired the cookbook memoir?
Okay, so I had a 40 by 40 bucket list because I turned 40 in September, and one of them was publish a book. I started writing a memoir, I started writing other stuff, and nothing came out right. And this was during the shutdown, the pandemic, and I was talking to my mom about it, and she's like, "Well, you're always cooking. Everybody's asking you for your recipes. Why not kind of combine the two?" And at the time, I was also reading Ross Matthews' book, Name Drop, where he kind of writes his memoir, but at the end of each chapter had a recipe. So I was like, these two really gave me a fantastic idea here. So I began writing. I decided to go through all my recipes and I decided to change the names a little bit to fit TV shows and based on all of them based on family stories, stories of my journalism career and stuff like that. And I just began writing, writing, writing. And I knew I didn't want to have regular food pictures. First of all, I didn't want to waste all that yummy food. And secondly, I really don't like the way food pictures look all the time because they always look so posed. So I talked to my friend Denise, who I've known for over 30 years. She's a world-renowned illustrator. And I asked her if she wanted to collaborate with me, and she said yes. And the pictures and the book alone are worth the money, you ladies. Denise is so talented, so amazing, and I can't thank her enough for all the work she put in. And I think if you want something beautiful, definitely buy it. If not for me, buy it for her because she's just fantastic.
Well, I know your cookbook has some really cool recipes. Are these your recipes?
Yes, they are. They're from
Okay.
me, my family, friends, stuff like that. A lot of them are passed down to me from different family members.
Very cool. How creative. I look at this. I'm looking at the table of contents. You got everything from dinner to desserts to drinks, things like pasta, burgers, chicken salad, and meatloaf. There's fudge inspired by Breaking Bad. Oh my. A big it's like, wow. You wouldn't I somehow don't think of fudge and Breaking Bad in the same
Yeah, me neither.
sentence. There's a Big Bang mac and cheese, of course, inspired by the show Big Bang. And there's even a cocktail you have that's called Who Shot JR and Coke, inspired by the show Dallas. Now, that sounds a bit dangerous. So what are some of the recipes to die for that you recommend? I mean, we could go down the list if you want.
Yeah, go down the list. You pick one from there, and I'll tell the story behind it and why I chose it.
Well, what I was thinking is maybe you could elaborate on the ones you like the most.
Sure. Well, first of all, my table flipping vodka sauce and pasta based on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I mean, we all know that table flip that Teresa did back in the day, which was a big reality TV moment. And I love penne alla vodka. Like I wrote in the book, my mom and my Aunt Bonnie both taught me how to make it. And then I made my own version of it. And it's basically my go-to meal for if I have to cook dinners, if I have to bring something to an event, and it's just comforting. It's my own recipe, and it's just something that I absolutely love. And it's Italian, which fits in with the Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Hmm.
And it's something that not only could you make as is, but you could also make several different versions of it. You can make it gluten free, you can make it without the vodka, you could adjust the spices. So it's a very versatile recipe that anybody can enjoy.
Now, is this something you can also freeze and eat later?
Yeah, you could absolutely freeze it, and you could even make it into baby food. You could just,
Ooh.
adjust the spices a little bit and just puree it in the blender and feed it to your little munchkin. I know my
Oh.
mom did that when we were
Hmm.
babies, and my sister did it for her daughter, who's now 2.5 years old, little Aria, and that's how Aria has a very big food palette that she loves to eat everything because and so do my brother, sister, and I because we basically ate people food pureed into baby food.
What a great idea.
Yeah, no kidding.
So much better than the pre-prepared stuff.
Exactly, and a lot cheaper to and a lot cheaper too.
Oh, well, yeah, for sure on that one.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm seeing one right below the one you just described called the Mamma Mia meatballs. That sounds yummy.
Yes, that actually began because as I told the story in the book, when I was in seventh grade, my mom let me make dinner on my own one night. And I wanted to make spaghetti and meatballs, but I wanted to make my meatballs a little bit different. And I saw we had a bunch of Italian meats in the refrigerator for lunch sandwiches. We had some salami, some pepperoni, some mozzarella, some prosciutto, and I just kind of threw it all in there into the meat mixture, made it into meatballs, simmered it in my sauce, and it came out so good. And it's something I've been making ever since. And it's a good way to also get rid of leftovers if you have those lunch meats that you just want to finish up, but you're not quite
Mhm.
sure what to do with. You could just throw it in
Hmm.
your meat, and you can use it with the all different kinds of chopped meat. You could use mixed chopped meat, beef, turkey, chicken, whatever you have on hand. And you don't even have to put it on pasta. You could just eat it on its own in a sub. So there, again, you can put it in a meatloaf. And again, another versatile recipe that anybody could make.
I love this. And people can recycle their food if they want. It's a great way to deal with leftovers. With today's budgets and the price of food, That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the
And that's another thing
variety.
And a variety. You're right, Kathy. Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know about you. I'm a Gemini. I like variety. I like change. I always eating the same food kills me. It's like, oh my
Mm.
God, really? Let's try something new.
Yeah. And I have the habit of putting food in there, leftovers, and it turns into a chia pet.
Same, same.
Stay tuned for more of Women Road Warriors coming up.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. I have one question for you. Do you want to stop worrying about the IRS? If the answer is yes, then look no further. I've been around for years. I've helped countless people across the country, and my success rate speaks for itself. So now you know where to find good, honest help with your tax problems. What are you waiting for? If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or haven't filed in years, call me now at 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com for a free consultation and get your life back.
Industry movement Trucking Moves America Forward is telling the story of the industry. Our safety champions, the women of trucking, independent contractors, the next generation of truckers, and more. Help us promote the best of our industry. Share your story and what you love about trucking. Share images of a moment you're proud of. And join us on social media. Learn more at truckingmovesamerica.com.
Welcome back to Women Road Warriors with Shelley Johnson and Kathy Tuccaro.
If you're enjoying this informative episode of Women Road Warriors, I wanted to mention Kathy and I explore all kinds of topics that will power you on the road to success. We feature a lot of expert interviews. Plus, we feature celebrities and women who've been trailblazers. Please check out our podcast at womenroadwarriors.com and click on our episodes page. We're also available wherever you listen to podcasts, on all the major podcast channels like Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Amazon Music, Audible, you name it. Check us out and bookmark our podcast. Also, don't forget to follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, YouTube, and other sites. And tell others about us. We want to help as many women as possible. Sammi Turano never thought that her journalism career would cover the entertainment industry when she got on board with TV Grape Vine. But she took a pivot and never looked back, because this is where she now features major celebrities and TV shows. She's been so very inspired by what she does that as a foodie, she decided to honor her 15 years doing this with a super fun cookbook called Taste of TV, 30 sassy recipes based on TV shows and movies. This book really is a must-have for everyone with TV-themed recipes that Sammy's modified from family and friends, and great artwork from Denise Meritato, a world-renowned illustrator. The recipes have fun titles like Fudge Inspired by Breaking Bad, a Big Bang Mac and Cheese, and a Who Shot JR, Jack Daniels and Coke. All of it is total fun with dinner, desserts, and drinks. You've got comfort food, convenience food, and recipes that use whatever you have in the kitchen. So, Sammy, you've got some really creative titles for your recipes. What other recipes do you recommend in your cookbook?
All right. I also have, this is from another one that came from my mom. It was the White Collar Russian. I don't know if you guys ever watched the show White Collar on USA with Matt Bomber.
I haven't, no.
I have not. Nope.
I highly recommend it then, if not for the storylines for him alone, because he's a very, very handsome man, as an aside. But it's a white Russian recipe. That's her special recipe. You throw the Kahlua, the vodka, but instead of using the cream, you use Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream and make it into a milkshake.
Ooh, yummy.
That sounds really yummy. Mmm. Love
Yeah.
it.
And if you're sober or you choose not to drink alcohol, you could also make a mocktail version of it by using a little bit of non-alcoholic Bailey's syrup that you can get at any kind of coffee shop. Or you could just buy some Bailey's ice cream and put like a little bit of vanilla syrup in there and make it into a milkshake that way. And that's another thing with the drink recipes. I try to make as many of them with mocktails as possible because I have a lot of friends who were sober, and I wrote that particular chapter with them in mind because I wanted them to have something they could enjoy too at parties when other people may choose to drink alcohol. They do
Sure.
not, but they should also enjoy something as well.
This is
Well, yeah, like
terrific.
I have 12 years sober, so you know what?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sick and tired of
terrific.
drinking water every time I go out, so I am going to try some of these. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yum. Yeah, because
Yep.
when you think about it, a lot of those mixed drinks without the alcohol, they're really, really yummy.
Yeah. Oh my
Hmm.
God.
Now, I'm curious, the who shot JR and Coke? Is it as dangerous as it sounds?
It's not that dangerous.
I love it.
And
I love it.
but like I said, it's a special show to me because when I was growing up, my mom used to watch all the nighttime soaps. I've interviewed people from the show. I've reviewed the reboot of the show. And of course, I was raised knowing who shot JR. So I had to fit the show in there somewhere, but I didn't know how. And then I thought, oh, rum and Coke. Who shot JR and Coke? JR always drank bourbon, so it fit.
You know, that particular episode, they had it as a cliffhanger. Everybody
Yes.
wanted to tune in to see
Yep.
who shot JR. And wasn't it the gal that was actually Bing Crosby's daughter that did it?
Yes. Yep.
Mhm.
Kristen
But
Shepherd.
yeah, but everybody was guessing everybody else. And of course,
Yes.
everybody knew, JR was the kind of guy you just love to hate.
Yeah.
So back to actual recipes here, dinners and desserts. I am seeing you have a recipe from the Golden Girls, isn't it?
Yes, that is my stuffed pepper recipe. I had the wonderful, beautiful chance to interview Betty White when she was alive on a conference call early
Oh,
on in
how
my
cool
career.
is that?
Oh, lucky you.
Oh, we if she was still alive, we would be pushing to have her on our show. What a wonderful woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's fabulous. And I was the last one that got the question. I got the last question, and I'm working from home that day. And my cat kept meow, meow. And I'm like, and my cat says hi too, Betty White. And she's like, well, you kiss those cats and you tell them that Betty White says hello. And I was
Oh.
just like, I don't know what made me happier, the fact that I got to talk to her, and the fact that she gave my cats a shout out.
There, there you go. So what is that recipe inspired by?
That is a
Or the,
stuffed pepper recipe. It was based on the episode of The Golden Girls where Dorothy was friends with Barbara Thorndike, and they went to this restaurant that was based on books. And why this restaurant doesn't exist is beyond me, but it is an idea for another book that I'm writing. And she had a recipe called "For Whom the Stuffed Pepper Tolls." So I'm like, I always make stuffed peppers. I'm always It's my mom's favorite recipe that I make. I make it for her every year on her birthday and Mother's Day, which I'll be making at the end of the month for her birthday. And I just decided I had to include it somewhere, and that was the perfect show for that recipe.
I
So
love
what's in
it.
it? What's in it?
Yeah, yeah.
I just made stuffed peppers last week before I came up here, so I'm dying of curiosity.
So basically, I make meatballs, slightly the way I make my meatloaf for the Young Sheldon recipe. Just take the meat, the eggs, and the spices and the breadcrumbs, which, as an aside, I put in there for if you're gluten free or you don't have any breadcrumbs in the house. There's all sorts of substitutes you could use. You could use oatmeal, you could use chips, you could use crackers, pretzels, anything to bind it. And also, if you use chips, you could get some fantastic different flavors. You'll just have to adjust the spices for that. So I make them into meatballs, cut off the top of the pepper, clean out the pepper, stuff it in there, cook it in a thin tomato sauce until it simmers and for about 45 minutes. And then there you go. They're all done. You can serve it with
Mm,
rice,
Yum.
potatoes, whatever you want.
yummy, yummy, yummy.
You're making me hungry.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow.
So we also have, let's see, Bella the Ball lasagna. That
I was
was,
just gonna say that one.
yeah.
Okay, so my really good friend Jamie Sullivan, I don't know if you remember on Bravo the show Jersey Belle or Coffee Talk, her podcast. She's a fantastic mentor and friend of mine. So I knew I wanted to honor her because she gave me so many opportunities in my career. So I was looking, I was like, I've watched, and then I was thinking back to her first episode of Jersey Belle where she made a lasagna to bring to a bridal shower. And I was like, you know what? That's another recipe people always ask me to bring places, and it is one of my favorite ones that my mom taught me how to make, and one of my favorite things that she makes. And It's been a family recipe for a long time, so I figured that's another way I can honor both of them. So I use some ground sausage, ground meat. Again, you could use chicken, you know, beef, turkey, veal, whatever you have on hand. Grind it up, cook it all together with the sausage, mix it with the cheese and the sauce, layer it all together and bake it, and you got a fantastic meal. You can use gluten-free noodles, or if you're avoiding carbs altogether, slice some zucchini or eggplant lengthways and do it that way. If you're a vegetarian,
Mm-hmm.
saute some spinach or vegetables instead, mix it with the cheese and the sauce, and you have a vegetarian lasagna.
Yum.
Yummy. Yeah, I do. I have celiac and my allergies look extremely severe. I always end up in the hospital. So
Oh
I get,
no.
yeah, it's brutal.
Oh,
Anyhow, so I have to get creative in my own cooking, and like I don't eat meat either, so I do. That's exactly what I do, like for my lasagnas, and I actually really becoming celiac has really people a lot of think might think it's been a detriment to me, but I have loved it because it's gotten to me to be able to be creative with food and learn about vegan and learn about trying different recipes, and oh my God, it is amazing. So yeah, I love this.
yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was writing the book. I was thinking of people like you in mind. I have some friends and family members who have celiac, and
Yeah.
I have, other allergies, vegan, vegetarian. That's why in the
Yeah.
tips and notes, I have different alternatives. That way,
Hmm.
everybody can enjoy my recipes.
I'm so buying your book. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah, this is really cool.
100%.
Stay tuned for more of Women Road Warriors coming up.
Trucking Moves America Forward, or TMAF, is building a positive image of trucking by telling the story of the hardworking drivers and industry professionals who support the industry. And you can be a part of it. Learn more about TMAF and how you can join and be a part of the industry movement working to build a strong image of trucking by visiting TMAF's website at truckingmovesamerica.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our latest channel, TikTok.
Welcome back to Women Road Warriors with Shelley Johnson and Kathy Tuccaro.
Sammi Turano's new cookbook is not only tasty, but fun. It's called Taste of TV, 30 Sassy Recipes Based on TV shows and movies. It's a TV and show-themed cookbook that uses whatever you have in the kitchen. They're easy to make recipes for dinner, desserts, and drinks. They're economical and yummy, and can even give a new twist to leftovers. The adult beverages can also be converted into mocktails for those who don't drink. Sammy's telling us what inspired her recipes and the reason behind them. They're great stories. Now, Sammi, the Big Bang mac and cheese. That sounds like it's a super big hit. Of course, it's based on the Big Bang Theory. What inspired that, and what's in it?
It was inspired by the pandemic, actually. I
Oh,
really wanted macaroni and cheese, and I'm like, we didn't have milk in the house. We only had heavy cream, and we only had a little bit of Velveeta cheese left and butter and the noodles, of course. So I kind of threw everything together, mixed it up, and it's so creamy, so delicious, and I actually made it for dinner tonight, and it's just
Hmm.
so good. And everyone I know that's made it so far has really, really enjoyed it. And again, you can use your gluten-free noodles. If you don't have Velveeta on hand, you could
Hmm.
use a different kind of cheese to your liking. I know one of my friends tried it. She threw some pepper jack cheese in there to give it a little extra spice. And you could just make it with pretty much anything, which makes it, you could even mix it with broccoli if you're
mm-hmm.
celiac and you can't eat you know, any kind of
Yeah,
gluten. You can
I
mix
do
it with
that.
some kind
I
of
always put
vegetables too.
broccoli. I always do that. I put broccoli or even cauliflower.
Yum.
Yeah, yeah, that's another good idea.
You know, something else I've personally tried is a lobster mac and cheese. That is so
Ooh.
decadent. Yum.
Ooh.
So you could put like maybe even shrimp in there, I would imagine, with your recipe. That would be
Yeah.
very cool.
Mm-hmm.
You're definitely getting me hungry here, Sammy.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
And I like this one. I make breakfast now and then for dinner. I'm seeing only omelets for your dinner. That sounds totally yum.
I eat omelets for dinner too. Who says that we can't, right? Who
That's
made the
right.
rule that
Exactly.
you can
Yeah.
only eat
Yeah.
omelets for breakfast?
Now
Yeah, they're an anytime food.
I'm
Yeah.
seeing that this was inspired by Only Murders in the Building.
Yes, that's one of my favorite shows. I mean, I haven't interviewed anyone from that show yet. I mean, I'm putting it out in the universe that I do. Maybe one of them will buy the book. But I just wanted to do it was a really good show that my mom, sister, and I all enjoyed when it came out. And I decided I had to find a way to honor that because of that. And I was like, you know what? He always made omelets for his stepdaughter when he was with her mother. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to use my omelet recipe because that fits perfectly for the show. And as an aside, I love the picture Denise did with it, with like the little crime scene. So it's just so perfect. And again, you could substitute cheeses out, you can substitute meat out, add more veggies, no cheese, no meat, whatever you want to make it yours. So, and
Mm-hmm.
fit in with any kind of food allergy or food restriction.
You also have a section for desserts. Of course, when I was a kid, that was the best part of dinner, you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who says we can't have dessert before dinner?
Well, that's the nice thing about being an adult. I could have dessert.
Right?
I can have dessert for dinner, you know?
That's right. Yeah. Make it a meal.
That's right. Now, the first one I'm seeing here, Sammy, is Big Bronana chocolate chip bread.
Yes.
What's in that? And I see it was inspired by Big Brothers.
Yes, because Big Brother TV Grapevine was originally a Big Brother site, and we always do a lot of Big Brother coverage. So I had to include a Big Brother recipe, and there was some episode I still to this day don't understand it, where Nicole was chasing Cody with bananas, and I don't know, I was thinking about that and laughing, and I was like, oh, Big Banana, Big Brother, Big Bronana, banana bread. And it was inspired by that. And again, my mom and my Aunt Terry always made it when I was younger. They both gave me their recipes. And then I experimented, made my own recipe.
Mm.
Love it. Love it. The next one, of course, I love ice cream. America's Got Ice Cream Cake. Yum. Inspired by America's Got Talent. Now, which episode and which person on America's Got Talent did you get inspired by to come up with this recipe?
It was actually the show as a whole, because that was the
Okay.
second show I covered for TV Grapevine. And I was on the red carpet, both virtually and in person. I interviewed the judges, I interviewed several of the hosts of the show, several of the talent, and I'm like, you can't get more American than ice cream cake. So America's Got Ice Cream Cake. And it's symbolic to the year my sister and her husband Sal got engaged, because when we went to her in-laws' house for Christmas that year, one of the cousins made an ice cream cake and taught me how to make it. So that's the version that
Ooh.
I make. And I just wanted, again, to honor my sister in that way and her husband, Sal, my sister Melanie and Sal. And that was the best way to honor them, by giving them their own recipe.
Yum. I love ice
Yum.
cream cake.
Me
Me
too.
too.
It's so
Who
good.
doesn't? Right? Who
Yeah.
doesn't?
Ice cream, ice cream. We all scream for ice
For
cream,
ice cream, yeah.
right? And let me see here. Oh, the one that I've got that I'm jumping around on your table of contents here, but of course my curiosity is getting the best of me. The fudge inspired by Breaking Bad. Now, what's the backstory on that one?
Well, my brother Paul used to recap Breaking Bad for the website for TV Grapevine, and he has his own podcast called B Movie Bros with his friend Corey, and so he's a star too. And I wanted to find a way to honor him, and I was like, I wanted to do something with Breaking Bad, and this is the fudge I make when I'm broke and I have to bring a dessert somewhere, and I'm like, what do I have? I was like, okay, I have Nutella, I have frosting, I have chocolate chips, mix it up together, throw it in the fridge, and you have a recipe.
Yum.
Hmm.
You know, these are great ideas for people who are on a limited budget and huge benefit because I can't believe the price of food. So when you can recycle
Oh, it's
stuff,
crazy.
yeah, and when you can substitute things you already have on hand, that saves a lot of money.
Yep.
And that was another thing I had in mind while writing the book. I wanted to make stuff people could afford, because I know price of food, we're all on a budget. I started writing it during the pandemic when everything was crazy. So I wanted something for families, to bring family stories, bring families together, and also have some stuff that's budget friendly for not only families, but people starting out or people that just don't have a lot of time to shop and cook.
During the pandemic, it got so crazy. And then, of course, you had all the shortages like toilet paper. I had like my own Smurfs going out and searching out toilet paper in the grocery stores.
Yeah.
It's like, give me some toilet paper. I can't find any, you know. But yeah, what a great idea.
Stay tuned for more of Women Road Warriors coming up.
Kathy Tuccaro is nothing short of amazing. She not only drives the world's biggest truck as a heavy equipment operator in northern Alberta, Canada. She's an international motivational speaker and the author of Dream Big, an autobiography about overcoming a lifetime of trauma and abuse that led to dreams of success. Kathy inspires people the world over to change their lives and improve their self-worth. Her book will change your life. She's passionate about personal growth and believes anyone can change their circumstances and overcome their obstacles if they believe in themselves. Her life will amaze you and seriously inspire you. Be sure to order a copy of her book, Dream Big, on Amazon.com. Industry movement Trucking Moves America Forward is telling the story of the industry, our safety champions, the women of trucking, independent contractors, the next generation of truckers, and more. Help us promote the best of our industry. Share your story and what you love about trucking. Share images of a moment you're proud of. And join us on social media. Learn more at truckingmovesamerica.com.
Welcome back to Women Road Warriors with Shelley Johnson and Kathy Tuccaro.
30 sassy recipes based on TV shows and movies, recapped and loved by TV Grapevine, is just a really fun way to cook and eat. Foodies love it. The variety of recipes for dinner, desserts, and drinks use what you have on hand, and they can be a zesty way to use up the food you have in the fridge. The book also helps with people who may be sensitive to gluten. Sammi Turano is telling us about what inspired each recipe she wrote that have some really cool and quirky titles related to our favorite shows and movies. Sammi, your cookbook has innovative recipes that help a lot of people on ways to cook, especially when they're on a limited budget. You've got a brownie recipe, you've got milkshakes.
Rumbalicious Rocky Road chocolate is my favorite.
Oh, yum. I'm looking at this. Yes, you've got a recipe for Rumbalicious Rocky Road chocolate. What's that one about?
Okay, so my mom every year for holidays makes her famous chocolate, and she puts all sorts of different things in it. She has sometimes puts pretzels, coconut, um, she makes the chocolate plain. She puts peanuts, marshmallows. So I just made the Rocky Road version where I put the peanuts and the marshmallows, mix it together, and put it in the fridge. And again, a nice easy dessert. You could use either melting chocolate, you can use chocolate chips if you can't find that,
Oh,
or you need a bigger
Yum.
batch because the melting chocolate's quite expensive. So to save on the budget, get a big bag of chocolate chips, melt that, and throw in your mixtures, and then put it in the freezer for a little bit, and you got a good budget-friendly dessert.
And this
yeah.
recipe was inspired by Dancing with the Stars.
Yes, I had to include it because of Tony and Sharon, who helped bring me to where I am today.
Very
Nice.
cool. I like peanut butter. I love peanut butter cookies, but I'm seeing clubhouse-worthy chocolate peanut butter cups.
That
Tell us
sounds
the backstory.
delicious.
Yeah, tell us more about that one. Yum.
Okay, well, as I said, I'm a big Bravo fan, and I love Andy Cohen, so I wanted to make and I always watch what happens live every night, or if I can't listen to it, I listen to it while I'm working out on the podcast version. And I decided, peanut butter and chocolate go together like Andy and Bravo, so I'm gonna make my peanut butter cups. And it's inspired by my dad because he used to always take the pieces of plain chocolate and put peanut butter on the back and make it into a little sandwich for me when my mom was making the chocolates. And my dad
Aw.
he has a sense of humor like Andy, so that was my way of honoring him.
That's really cool.
Ah,
Love it.
nice.
You have at-large lemon bars that's inspired by Geraldo Rivera.
Yes. I interned for him when I was in college, and he was the best, sweetest, most amazing man in the world. Down to earth, caring, helped me with his school project based on the Willowbrook scandal, gave me all the paperwork, the live footage, tapes, everything. He always bought everybody food. He took care of everybody. He was just such a kind, down to earth gentleman. And this is my way of saying thank you for being such an inspiration to me.
I love it. What a great
Yeah.
tribute. That's a great tribute.
Yeah, it is.
I wanted to jump around here because we don't have a ton of time. I see in your cookbook you have a list of ingredients that you always keep in your fridge and pantry. That's a really handy list. Did you kind of want to talk about that?
Actually, I can't take credit for that. That's I was from Snoop Dogg's cookbook, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to include it in mine because everyone's like, well, what do I need to cook all these recipes? I'm like, this is your way of saving time. This is where you the produce. This is the um pantry staples. This is what I always keep on hand, and this is what you I suggest you keep on hand so you can just make these recipes without even really having to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm seeing milk is one of the first staples. Half and half or heavy cream, eggs. I think a lot of this stuff people pretty
Yeah.
much do have on hand. Italian seasoning, basil. Basil, I'm not sure I have basil, but I could see where it would come in handy, especially with some of the recipes you have. Oregano,
Mm-hmm.
parsley, dill. Now, is that dill the herb? You could get that, what, dried or?
Yep, you could use it dried, you could use it fresh, whatever you're able to get, because I know not everyone's able to get it fresh, so you can get it dry as well.
Okay. And of course, salt. That's pretty much in every recipe. I like the Himalayan pink salt.
Oh, me
Uh,
too.
yeah, that's actually better for us.
Yep.
And pepper. Now, do you recommend the pepper you grind yourself?
If you're able to get it. I can't always find it, but so I use the regular kind. But if you are able to find it, then go for it.
And hot sauce. Any kind of hot sauce? I mean, there's some
Yep,
hot
any kind. There's
sauces.
so many different kinds. Whatever kind fits your flavored liking, go for that.
Even the ones that make your eyes water. Some of those
That's my
peppers are,
brother-in-law's favorite. So Sal can have all that he wants. I prefer the more mild ones.
really, they're evil. They can look innocent, but they're not. I remember my family planting some hot peppers, and I didn't realize that it was a hot pepper. It was this little skinny, innocent looking red pepper in the garden. We're picking all of the vegetables, and I bit into one of those puppies. Oh,
Oh.
whoa. I went running for the hose. It was like, you got to be kidding me. And I barely bit into it. It was just amazing. Well, I definitely learned my lesson. So, Sammy, you also have lemon and lime juice. That's something you recommend.
Yes, because you could use them for drinks, you could use them in a pinch for different kinds of chicken or fish dishes, and it's just something I always keep on hand for drinks, for different kinds of meat dishes or fish dishes.
Okay. And flavored extracts, you said vanilla, almond, lemon, and butter. Basically, all the flavors you recommend keeping those on the shelf as well.
Absolutely, because they add different kicks to your cookies or your brownies or your cakes, just to give them a little bit of a different flavor.
When I make French toast, I add vanilla
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, me too.
and
Gluten-free vanilla.
and also maple. That's a really cool flavor for
I like that. Yeah.
French toast. Yeah. And
And
of course,
cinnamon.
oh, cinnamon. Yeah, that's a keeper too. Butter. Now, do you recommend butter or margarine? Any preference there?
It depends on what you have on hand. Personally prefer butter, but I know
Mm.
some people prefer margarine. It's an either or situation.
Olives. This is another one you have on your list. What kind of olives? Black olives, green olives? Does it matter?
I prefer green, but if you like your black ones, you go for those.
Okay. Very cool. Your cookbook has some great stories and great information on each and every recipe. What are some other highlights to get people really like we haven't gotten people enticed enough? I'm sure they're all
Yeah, I'm pretty
salivating at
sure.
this point.
Yeah.
I'll be
Well,
honest with you, ladies. Buy it for Denise's art. That's the biggest selling point. Denise's artwork is beautiful. You don't have to always buy it for my story. Buy it for her and her artwork. Her artwork is fabulous, fantastic, and she puts so much hard work into it. I don't want to ruin it because I don't want to ruin the surprise, but buy it for Denise because she did such a great job.
I love the illustrations. They're
Yeah.
super super creative.
She's fantastic. So
what did you like most about doing this book? I mean, there's so many elements you put into it.
I just like collaborating with Denise and coming up with the stories and her coming up with the pictures based on my stories. And I just love the fact that us being friends for so long, we were able to do this together. And I'm glad that I get to honor her through this cookbook.
Now,
Yeah.
where can people find your cookbook?
Amazon.com. It's in paperback, Kindle, and Kindle Unlimited.
Excellent. And where do people find you? I'm sure people want to learn more about you as well.
Absolutely. I have my website's called TVGrapevine.com, and I'm on Instagram under official_TV Grapevine, and Grapevine in high heels on Facebook and TikTok.
Love it. Do you see yourself ever being on a food competition? Because I could see
That
this.
is a bucket list dream.
Is
Yeah.
it? Okay. Yeah, because those things look so intense, especially some of these where the master chef is just making all these scathing comments. It's like, I'm not sure I want to be trying to cook here.
Have you guys ever heard of the Roadkill Cafe menu?
I have you, Sammy?
I have not, no.
Okay, when I was going up to the Yukon, which is, out there and there's really not much, there was a restaurant that had this big poster. And because there's really no traffic, all there is a lot of animals and roadkill right on the road. And so they had this menu and it says, "You kill it, we grill it." I just pulled it up online. It's like, center line bovine, the chicken, which is the chicken that didn't cross the road, flat cat, chunk of skunk, smidgen of pigeon, road toad a la mode, shake and bake snake, swirl a squirrel, was it whipperpool on a grill, narrow sparrow, rigor mortis tortoise, bag and gag, your daily takeout special, anything dead in a bag, in bread.
Wow.
And Crocker cutlets.
So this is just a really creative menu, right? I mean, they aren't actually having people come in.
No. It's just fun. And here's the biggest one: is guess that mess.
Wow.
A daily special takeout if you can guess what it is, and you can eat it for free. Or here they got late night delight: raccoon, smeared ear, awesome possum, and very cheap sheep.
Awesome possum. I don't think so. What do you think of that, Sammy?
I think I'll pass on that.
Yeah. I got such a kick out of that poster. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, if you could get around the descriptions, it's like,
yeah,
I'm not sure about that one. Absolutely.
I prefer your menu, just saying.
Oh, yeah. Sammy, I definitely prefer your recipes too. I would say that your cookbook is beyond. This is definitely something that all foodies need to check out. Where do they find it again, Sammy?
Amazon.
Amazon's the best place? Okay.
Yep.
I'm definitely getting it. Oh, for sure.
Thank you so much.
This is awesome. Thank you, Sammy, for being on the show. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh my God, it's been a delight.
Yeah. Inspired by Sammy.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you too. Thank you, Sammy. We hope you've enjoyed this latest episode. And if you want to hear more episodes of Women Road Warriors or learn more about our show, be sure to check out womenroadwarriors.com. And please follow us on social media. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. On our website, we also have a selection of podcasts just for women. They're a series of podcasts from different podcasters. So if you're in the mood for women's podcasts, just click the Power Network tab on womenroadwarriors.com. You'll have a variety of shows to listen to anytime you want to. Podcasts made for women. Women Road Warriors is on all the major podcast channels like Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Audible, YouTube, and others. So check us out, and please follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Women Road Warriors with Shelley Johnson and Kathy Tuccaro. If you want to be a guest on the show or have a topic or feedback, email us at sjohnson@womenroadwarriors.com.